Did the Chiefs need a vintage performance from Kelce to win the Super Bowl?
I think so, not just because it's Travis Kelce, they don't really have a traditional number one wide receiver, but because of the matchup. What do we know about this Eagles defense under Vic Fangio? Ton of zone coverage.
Yes.
They play top down. Travis Kelce is overwhelmingly their answer versus zone coverage. It's been that way for years, but on the season, he has 95 targets against zone coverage. No other Chief has more than 31. So it's very hard for me to imagine a world in this game, given this matchup, where he doesn't have a dominant game and the offense isn't efficient.
I mean, when you think about Travis Kelce here, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce's Wi-Fi is always booming.
Yeah.
Right? I'll give you that one. The Wi-Fi is always connected. When is it better connected? In zone. Mm-hmm. So you have a seam. Versus zone, why would I run to get open? If I'm already open,
right.
I'm not going to run to get covered. I'm sorry. I'm not going to run to get covered. I'm just going to find the open zone. There's so many times as I'm watching Travis Kelce, and I'm seeing him just stop. I'm seeing him just lift his hands up. Hey, I'm there. And versus this particular situation, does it have to be a vintage performance? No, just do your job. But if those opportunities come where you have that, then you're going to see him be extremely effective.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for him to be vintage because I think they need to take him away on third down because he's the reason they stay on the field and keep it going. But I love the maturation that I've seen from Xavier Worthy. He's blossomed into their number one receiver. I thought I would see a little bit more of D-Hop, but what I've seen is Xavier Worthy and Patrick Mahomes have a little bit more confidence in him. Juju showed his head in the championship game, made 2 big plays, and he's capable of doing that. But Kelce, could Kelce, is he going to be what he was, say, against the Texans? I don't know if they're going to allow that to happen because Cooper DeJean would probably take that matchup, who does very well. We know Fangio loves to play nickel defense, 4-2-5. He believes he can put pressure on you with his front four. But I can see Kelce having a big third down and staying on the field. And maybe that's going to be enough. But I don't see him having those 7 for $150 and 2 touchdown games. And I don't see that.
To me, it just comes down to this. Do the Chiefs need a vintage Kelce performance to win? That is the question. Well, if it ain't him, who's it going to be? Are we going to bet our money on Juju Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy? Are we going to do that? I don't think you're going to do that in a game of this magnitude, particularly when history shows it ain't just about the 350 yards and 2 touchdowns in the 4 Super Bowls that Travis Kelce has been in. It's about the fact that 84% of the time that you targeted him, you had those completions. Yeah. 31 of 37. He's reliable. Everybody else on the Chiefs, 60%. That's a 24% drop-off. So if you're in a game of this magnitude, anticipating that the Eagles are as loaded as they are or as formidable as they are, you got to go to try what's tried and true and tested, and that's Travis Kelce. The Eagles don't have to find a way to neutralize him. Remember last year, at the start of the Super Bowl, Travis Kelce, he ultimately bumped into Andy Reid and all that brouhaha. Why? Because he wasn't getting the damn football, and the Chiefs were trailing. He's like, get me the damn ball. Yeah. Get me the ball. Ultimately, it's going to come down to how effective and efficient Travis Kelce is.
You make a really good point. If the Eagles make a concerted effort, we are taking out Travis Kelce no matter what. If they play man coverage, Xavier Worthy has really become their answer for man coverage, then his production might be limited. But as Cam said, when they play zone, that man's spatial feel, that ability to get open, if there's a scramble drill with Mahomes, we know it's going to 87.
And he works, Lord, forgive me for saying this. The legs ain't what they used to be. The mind is willing, but the body ain't able. And the thing is, the zone, because he can't run like he once could. We see it. He doesn't get open against man like he once could. Xavier has those fresh legs, and that's why he's a threat against man coverage. But he'll find the zone. Now, he understands. They on the same wavelength. Remember when he made that dive in that Superman throw? Yeah. How did Kelce know to go into that second window?
Yeah. But what about the argument that he didn't have he's had over 900-plus yards last year in the regular season, and then all of a sudden he's got 32 receptions in the postseason. This year he's had over 800 yards, and then all of a sudden the postseason arrives, and then he's more formidable. I'm just saying Travis Kelce might have lost a step, but he has shown that when the moment arrives, he can find a way. Yes. That could be the case here.
Can I call an audible real quick and ask you a question? As a Hall of Fame tight end, I wanted to. We talk a lot about, especially if Patrick Mahomes goes out and wins the Super Bowl, the comparison of him and Tom Brady, right, in that GOAT conversation. But do you think it's necessary that Patrick Mahomes wins a Super Bowl without Travis Kelce? When you look at a guy like Tom Brady, who did win 3 without having a Gronk or an Aaron Hernandez.
No, I don't. Me personally, I don't think so. See, I think the thing is what people make the mistake at is that they look at the Patriots players, Mina, and it's like, well, they're not any good.
Yeah.
They might not be good anywhere else, but they're great in that system. You look at the Edelmans, you look at the Amendolas, you look at the guys, the Deion Branches and the guys, the Givens and the David Pattons. They work well in that system, and the Patriots do a great job of picking a particular guy because it's hard to be a number one receiver when you go 1 week you might get 5, and the next 2 weeks you might not get 5 total.
Yeah.
And so every number one receiver can't play for the Patriots. And so it takes a special type of talent to play in New England. I don't think Patrick Mahomes, I think if he wins, man, a three-peat, I don't know where you are on this. I don't know if we'll ever see this again. But if he wins a three-peat and gets another one, 5 is enough for me. I'm going to have to say Patrick Mahomes to go.
On that, Mina?
It's not just about Travis Kelce. I go back to the AFC Championship. That was not a big Travis Kelce game because they played a lot of man coverage.
Yes.
So Xavier Worthy became. That's about Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Kelce's amazing. They don't have the Super Bowl accomplishments without him, but it's not entirely dependent on Kelce. I think we all agree.
Yeah. The Kansas City Chiefs has proven time and time again they're going to win the game how the game needs to be won.
Yep.
If it's man-to-man, of course it's going to come down to everybody else going to make a play. If it's zone, cool. I'm going to still do what we do. They are the team in situational football that thrives the most. I've said that numerous times, and you can't mention that enough, especially with this game.
They lose Tyreek. They lose that explosive ability.
And
now they shallow cross you and pick you to death.
And
Just a quick question. Just a quick question for all of y'all. What we've seen from the Eagles defense this year, is there anything about this defense that tells you they can be different in a positive way compared to anybody else that the Kansas City Chiefs are going against over the years?
What Shannon was talking about, the evolution of the Chiefs offense, it's about yards after the catch. Nobody in the NFL defends yards after the catch better than this Philadelphia Eagles defense. It's a good matchup for them.
Can we just go back in the blast for the past? Does people remember how this game kind of turned out? What was the big media spectacle? It was the holding from Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Bradford the fourth.
And it was like, hold on. Is that really do you call that then?
Yes.
So for us, however this game comes down for it to be won, that's what the team has to maximize in doing. And Kansas City has been the best at it. Now, the question is, can Jalen Hurts do it as well? Right? When it's time to win, does people feel confident in it? Or does he have the capacity to find ways, if it's 50 seconds, if it's 5 minutes left, if it's 8 minutes left when we're down or we're up?
Yeah,
how
if
do
they
we
get
find
behind
ways?
also.
Correct. So.
What, you wanted to say something?
I mean, Jalen Hurts did it in the Super Bowl last time.
Yeah.
Played the best game of his career.
Yeah.
He just played the best game of his entire season. So obviously Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, but in the biggest moments, the Eagles quarterback has risen to the occasion.
He has an opportunity to show us that, guess what? I can do what needs to be done.
Come on, man.
It's not on purpose. Yes, since week 5, nobody's run the football more than us, but nobody has passed the football less than us. Okay, that was intentional. But now it's the Super Bowl. I can step up and handle my business if necessary. He has to show that.
Mina, I just want to go back really quick to that Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes narrative, because if he wins again, that's just going to get ramped up even more. When you look at them in terms of comps, realistically, how many more Super Bowl rings do you think Patrick Mahomes could get?
I think he could match Brady. I really do. He's got so much football left. And obviously, an accomplishment perspective, he doesn't have Brady's rings yet. But his record, the amount of times he's gotten to the Super Bowl, the efficiency, the performance in the playoffs statistically has been better than Tom Brady. He's entirely capable.
Think about it. Tom Brady won his 3rd and took a decade off before he won his 4th.
Yeah.
So
you don't think?
I don't. It's hard for me to see a scenario where Patrick Mahomes goes 10 years without getting to the Super Bowl.
But understand, like the competition for Brady versus the competition for Patrick Mahomes is completely. We just had a guy sitting in that seat that will have something to say, hey,
and Lamar.
The AFC.
He was in the AFC East. Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so much competition.
They own the AFC East.
Hold up. This man just uttered something blasphemous right here. I understand the greatness of a Joe Burrow, of a Lamar Jackson, but Peyton Manning was Peyton Manning.
Yes.
They weren't Peyton Manning now.
They still have time to prove that, though.
Fine.
That's all I'm saying. But when you ask the question that Molly just asked, can you see Patrick Mahomes surpassing Tom Brady? for multiple years, that means he has to at least get 7.
I was just talking about your point about who he has to deal with because the ball
competition.
Understood.
I'm saying they had to deal with Peyton Manning.
Yes, understood.
And to a lesser degree,
one
Big
guy,
Ben. And to
we're
a lesser
saying.
degree, Big Ben, because he had 2.
Correct. The competition.
He could extend the play.
The competition is strenuous in the AFC.
In the AFC.
When you
Big
think
four.
about
It's
it,
a gauntlet.
It's a great
and they all
point.
young.
You're
Yes.
right.
They are
It's
young
Burrow
quarterbacks.
This is like-
and they all are young. Like all of them are.
Mahomes has stiffer competition. I
This
think
is
it's
what we
fair
call
to
in
say.
boxing. When they had Sugar Ray, Marvin Hagler, Roberto
Yes.
Duran,
Yeah.
and Tommy Hearns.
Yes.
Hitman.
The 4 kings.
Yeah.
Well, you got the 4 kings in the AFC,
I tell
and
you,
they're
bro.
all under the age of 30.
Bruh.
They're all under the age of 30.
Man, this.
Where are they on that unified body in boxing? Like, when's that ever going to happen?
You talking about unified body? What are you talking about?
It ain't happening.
Boxing, it needs it.
Those guys, well, they don't have that now because the promoters have hijacked the
Yeah,
sport.
well, they need to get
That's
it
the problem
together.
with boxing.
Everybody's concerned about that. Oh,
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
want to be
Protect
Because
the
they
one.
think one defeat is going to cost
And it
them.
hurts the sport.
It does.
It hurts the
Absolutely.
sport.